if I can reinvent myself, build on all the things that I'm proud of and make me happy and make me feel good doing, then I'll find different ways to reinvent myself. I'll still be true to who I am, but even if it's just showing up differently and more deliberate about how I spend my time, then that's something new and different.
Good morning. Welcome to Beta Tested. This is the space for women in leadership who are not striving for perfection because we know that's not where the growth comes from. We're here for the messy middle, the moments where we're building, leading, and stretching in real time, all without the perfect answers. Because the truth is, the most meaningful progress doesn't come from getting it right the first time. It comes from showing up and doing it anyway. So let's do this. Welcome to the show, Melissa. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. And I love that intro because it truly captures kind of all the things that working women these days are going through. Perfection does not exist. It's almost survival. Or it's like, I'm surviving well. So I love that.
Well, you were one of the first people that I thought of, honestly, because do you remember when we met? Not to put you on the spot.
Yes, absolutely. I do. I remember. And I think about it fondly every year. And I was just on the phone talking about Cannes earlier this morning as we're trying to like map out our plans. And that's the thing I love too, is that we actually got to meet in real life. And just because we were like
sitting there, I was
sitting next to each other. At a restaurant.
A breath from the craziness, and I saw this. I'm a strikingly beautiful, professional, very polished woman.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I was sitting with Jessica Ackerson, who I ran into that day too. Yada, yada, yada. Here we are. But you do project yourself as someone who has it all together, which is why you came to mind. And then in your office just recently, you were transparent enough to tell me some of what was going on in your life, and a light bulb went off, and I'm learning in real time, and I learned from you in that moment. So before we get into it, why don't we start? Where are you? What are you doing? What's your role?
So right now I am at the new Omnicom. So I was at IPG Media Brands. There was a tiny little acquisition in this industry. You might have heard of it. And now I am at Omnicom Media Health, excuse me. Still getting the words right. 5 months in, I guess it's 5 months in, and I lead all the health business, from a media standpoint across the organization, trying to really figure out what the future looks like, our proposition, protocol, talent, tools, all that great stuff that really helps us shine. But still trying to figure it all out because it's a work in progress. So
it feels like the intersection of a lot of updates to keep track of between regulation, the ecosystem ever evolving. Like where do you start? How do you do this?
You start by starting, which is like one of my new favorite terms. And you give yourself a little bit of grace because no one can know everything. I also give myself the freedom to ask a lot of questions. And even in some meetings, I end with saying I reserve the right to ask more because I'd rather ask a ton of questions and learn something new and get it right than make assumptions. And I think it's even more important to also empower your teams and the people around you to ask questions. And it is a volatile time. It's a volatile world that we're living in. And it's a time of change and transformation that we haven't seen since like the inception of the internet. So you have to roll with it. But I very much live, at least at this moment, in what do I need to do today? How can I show up my best self today, make the most positive impact, and then get done what I can get done realistically, and then on to tomorrow. Because I don't know what next week is going to bring. I mean, I can think about it. I know what's there, but I can only handle what's happening today.
But you could not have always been that brave. So tell us about your journey to where you are today, knowing those things inherently, because I feel like a lot of people who are listening are craving to feel how you feel. They know it, but they can't feel it because they think they have to be perfect.
It's taken me a while. I realize now that the more experienced and seasoned we get, because I won't say older, because I don't even believe how old I am, because I still feel like I'm 27. But more importantly is how do I embrace my gifts the good ones and the bad ones, because some of my superpowers are both positive and negative, and I own it. And I own it now without being ashamed. So where I used to be nervous to ask a question in a room and not have that confidence, what's the worst thing that can happen? Right. And that's what I try to teach and coach, which is something that I'm also passionate about. But it's almost that feeling of like, what's the worst that could happen? They won't answer my question. But more importantly, knowing that I'm going to be okay no matter what. And the things that matter most are my family and health and happiness and friendship and being grateful. And I very much believe in rooting myself and being grateful every single day. Grateful for the chance to talk to you. Grateful for the sunshine outside. Grateful that my feet are on the ground after 2 weeks in California. All the little things. And sometimes you need to ground yourself in that and make even like 30 seconds of your day about that. And it will make a difference. It's not easy, but it helps.
Do you think there was a correlation between your rise in your career and your confidence?
100%. I think when I look back at the beginning of my career, I used to apologize for everything.
I know.
I think in my whole life, I was always apologizing because
And
I didn't
prefacing.
have, right. Like, I'm sorry. And I remember starting, in this crazy advertising media marketing world, like 25 plus years ago. And my first boss, who was one of my closest friends, saying, stop apologizing. And it was just who I was. And I remember like no one had ever said that to me before. And almost having someone put a mirror up to me to say like, what are you apologizing for? You're just being yourself, or you're asking a question. But still took me a long time, at least 10 years, to realize that I was smart and I was a valuable contributor in the room. And the more I grew in my role in leadership, the more I understood the influence that I have around those around me, positive or negative. That's why I joke, my superpower is like, you can see everything on my face, right?
That
And
is a superpower.
I'm an open book. It's my superpower and my downfall, right? It's my superpower and my Achilles heel at the same time. I think it's more of a superpower because people want to surround themselves with greater authenticity and humanity now more than ever. And I don't apologize for it anymore. I actually don't apologize for anything. Right.
I mean, unless you hurt someone's puppy, you might apologize, but come on, for being ourselves, no. That's really interesting and quite profound. I'm wondering, is there any tips or exercises, or how did you do that work? If someone's listening going, I want to accelerate that process. I want that confidence because I apologize, but I can't get myself to stop.
I wish I had some perfect advice. I think you have to just go through it and start to find confidence in the things that you are not just good at, but enjoy doing. So if you're a person who likes to contribute, amazing, contribute more. If you're a person who likes to be very thoughtful and follow up with different types of recommendations or feedback, step into that.
Which requires self-awareness is what you're saying.
Yes. And it takes a long time to do that. And surround yourself with people who also want to help shine your light. And make that known that you want to be around people and teams and leaders that help lift you up. The thing is, choice always exists. You have the choice to show up every day. You have the choice to come to work. You have the choice to decide what you're doing. It may not feel like that some days, but you always have a choice. So understand that there's power in that. Some days you're going to feel amazing and that you're going to show up as your best self. Some days you're not. But the reality is you always have a choice. And if something that you're doing is not feeding your soul or doesn't feel good, you have a choice to step away for a minute, to step away for a day, to step into something else. But more importantly, we have choice.
It's everything. And I'm also hearing you talk about boundaries, not just keeping things out, but understanding what you want to keep in. And my therapist always says, boundaries are self-care. And the name of this episode is actually Tech, Motherhood, and the Myth of Balance. And you brought up your family. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that, because speaking from experience, this is hard stuff for people who are passionate about both their family and their career and their friends and maybe art. Like, when do you do it all?
I think it's almost labeling it something different or not even giving it a label. It's just making a promise to yourself that you show up the best way that you can. Some days you're going to show amazing and feel great and think, I can totally do this. Other days you're going to feel the opposite and want to be like sucking your thumb, rocking back and forth in a corner. I've been there both days.
Even still, you have days like that?
I have days like that all the time.
Okay.
But as I was saying, I have an incredible husband who actually, I'm very lucky. He works from home. He is my daughter's Girl Scout leader. Because I had said to him, like, this is years ago now. I was like, okay, he's like, no one's showing up. No one's saying yes. I was like, okay, we'll do it. He's like, who are you kidding? He's like, you can't commit to that. So he did. So I feel lucky to have a partner who believes in being around and supporting and doing all the things together as a team, which is challenging in itself. But my family and my daughter is my number one priority, and I make that very clear in everything that I do. So I don't miss the things that are important to her. And anyone who knows me knows that that is absolutely my guiding light. I make every decision, every choice in service of her and how I can be there for her and our family. And it makes things a lot clearer when you look at it through that lens. I also am very true to myself in how I look at the world and the choices that I make, because I want her to see me doing that and saying, okay, my mommy does XYZ. Like when I come into her school, because if I sign up for something in school, I am there, right? Like the little things, like I will be mystery reader. I did art appreciation 2 weeks ago. And I was like literally running from an airplane, dropping my bag off, getting there and doing like 30 minutes of art appreciation. And I explain to her all the time, mommy always comes back and mommy will always be where she says she's going to be, unless there's, because sometimes that happens, but I make every promise to deliver on the things that I say that I'm going to do. And I make the moments count with her, but make sure you're clear on what your boundaries are and you tell those around you what your boundaries are, because they can help you hold yourself accountable. Right. And you will find that more people are willing to do that when you're clear with them.
You're clear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like you have to be clear. I say this all the time. I love me some Brene Brown.
Me too.
But clear is kind. I say it all the time. I feel like, and I joke because most days I wear, like sometimes, especially on Fridays, I wear shirts that have like a message on them. This morning, I was wearing one that said good vibes. I was like, sometimes it's just a reminder. I'm like, I wear it for those who see me. And then sometimes it's just a reminder for myself because I need that reminder sometimes too. But I need a shirt that says clear is kind, because the clearer you are about what you're going to do, what your expectations are, what good looks like, the better everyone around you can understand how to best show up and support you. And you got to rewrite the rules. There are no rules. You just have to roll with that and know that there is, I joke, my grandmother Zelda, who my daughter Zoe is named after, used to say, you make a plan and God laughs at you. It's true, right? You make a plan, you're like, this is what I'm going to do and this is what's going to happen. Yeah, no, not so much. So you have to understand that there will be things out of your control, but do your best to show up in the spaces and places you can control. And not everything's going to be great, but there will be a lot of wonderful.
Really well said. What I'm hearing the most is you're really in touch with yourself. You talk to yourself, you're clear on your boundaries. So if I have a takeaway to me as a listener, I would say spend time with myself, understand myself, because I will be more confident to be able to establish boundaries, even being in touch with them, not allowing someone else to create them for me. And frankly, let's be honest, when they're squishy boundaries, people push them. When they're clear, people respect them.
And I think that's, I'm glad that's your takeaway, because the reality is, as I said, the clearer you can be about what is important to you, what you want to achieve, whether that's in work or in life, to those around you, the more they're on your, they're in lockstep with you. They want to support you, and people love being a part of something and included in something. And, once you trust someone with sharing, like, I'm not good at making myself leave a call, whatever it is. Like, you can make up an example for anything. If you tell people that and you give them the chance to hold you accountable, be like, you said you weren't so good at this, so I'm going to tell you to do X, Y, and Z. Especially with new moms, right? And you said that earlier, and it's funny, there's a new dad. I have a client who's a new dad, and we were in California, and he was like, and I don't get to talk to her. I'm like, and she's 6 months old, and he's like, I don't see her, I don't get to talk to her, or whatever. And I said, someone said to me when my daughter was a baby and I was traveling, because I was beside myself. She was like a year old, and I was leaving. They're like, it's so much harder on you than it is on them.
That's true.
They have like their diapers changed, they're fed, they have love. They probably have like all the grandparents around them. Like they're having a blast. It's harder on you than it is on them. So try to be kind to yourself through this. And then it's never going to be the same, and try to find ways to connect. I was like, when I'm traveling, I send videos, especially with like time differences. Like I'll send a video because you can't always connect.
I wrote letters.
Yeah. You write letters. Sometimes I leave cards so that she opens up one every night if it's like a long trip, but I'll make a video every night before I go to bed. So she has one to wake up to. And then I get one when I wake up to it.
You found your own code.
Yeah. I love that. Yes. You make your own code. You figure it out. And the thing is, it's all in service for a better life and family too. Right?
Right.
We have to have some satisfaction in what it is that we do, but we work because we want to feel not just fulfilled, but we want to be able to provide for our family, but also show that we can do any or all of the things, or just one thing.
You're really inspiring me right now.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
I have one more question for you, which is, what is something you are beta testing right now?
It's funny. Every year, I try to come up with like 3 words that I hold myself accountable to. And I put them on my notepad, which I'm a legit, I still do like my to-do list on a piece of paper. And I laugh because I'm 100% who I am. I'm authentic, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. It's my favorite quote. I say it all the time. I'm trying to share, and in that sharing, having people hold me accountable. So I even put it on LinkedIn. I was coming back from CES and I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it out there, because if I put it out there, people can actually hold me accountable, right? So this year was resilience, risk, and reinvention. So that's what I'm beta testing right now is, am I trying to do everything I can this year through that lens, right? There's so much change happening around us. There's so much tumult. There's so much that I can't control. So to me, the resilience part is, am I showing up in my best way? Am I standing back up after I've been hurt? Am I, trying to be my best self and learn from each of these times that I fall? And trust me, it's been a crazy year. This has been a very, very rough year. And okay, what did I learn from this? Did I show up as my best self? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And that's okay, because that's reality. The risk piece is about, how am I doing things differently? Even if it's a little different choice, a different class that I take, or a different person that I go to when I need help or assistance, especially now that I'm part of this broader organization. And the reinvention piece is, who do I want to be this year? Who do I want to be this year? I had a big birthday, which I'm saying out loud, and I can't believe it.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. It's October. I'm officially now that birthday and a half. I was like, okay, how do I really want to show up? And if I can reinvent myself and build on all the things that I'm proud of and make me happy and make me feel good doing, then I'll find different ways to reinvent myself. I'll still be true to who I am, but even if it's just showing up differently and more deliberate about how I spend my time, then that's something new and
You're
different.
Designing your life.
I love that. I love designing
it.
life. You're using my coaching language, and I love it because
I'm sorry. Maybe it's the Brene in me, and she's our next guest. But Brene, if you're listening, it feels like you're designing your life.
Oh yeah.
You come across as exceptionally agile, which I think is so important. because shit comes at us, pardon my French, all day, every day. And if we can't adjust, how do we survive? And through it all, you feel imperfectly perfect to me.
Thank you. I will take that. I will take that. And I will know that like this morning was not easy. I kept getting my daughter out the door in the morning is the hardest part of the day. And I may not have been my best self.
And that's okay.
That I know. And that when she walked out the door, I still yelled, "Mommy loves you no matter what." And let's think about how we could have done this differently. So I'm going to own it. And part of it, I think, is actually owning my shit. Sorry to
Totally.
but now I'm going to own it. What can I learn from it? And how do I stay positive as much as I can? There's a lot to be grateful for.
There
a lot
sure
to be
is.
grateful for.
I'm grateful for you.
Well, I'm grateful
Since
for
day
you.
one, you've been kind to me. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being a guest. Thanks for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.
I really hope if one person takes what I took from it, you just catapulted them to a greater position. So thank you so much.
I hope so. And I'm grateful for the chance to be a part of this. I wish only luck and success and positive impact coming out of it. So,
all right. We'll
it's
talk to you
wonderful
soon.
to see you. Okay.
You too.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.